Welcome, dear friends, to a tale of redemption and unexpected love, where the past and present collide in a heart-wrenching journey that will remind you of the power of second chances and the unbreakable bonds of family. Enjoy the story. Ethan Spencer stood by the expansive window of his luxurious penthouse, gazing at the skyline of New York City. The sun cast a golden hue over the buildings, but Ethan's mind was far from the beauty before him. His mother's words echoed in his ears, words he had heard over and over for months now. "Ethan, darling, why do you keep doing this to yourself?" Margaret Spencer's voice was filled with concern, her face drawn with worry. "I loved Kate too, but it's been nearly 10 years since you last saw her and now she's gone. Why do you insist on visiting her grave every day?" Ethan turned to face his mother, the exhaustion on his face evident. The sleek modern decor of his penthouse clashed with the turmoil inside him. "Mom, don't you understand?" he said quietly, his voice filled with anguish. "I feel so guilty. My soul is on fire. I can't sleep. I can't find peace. And Kate, she never got to tell me something important. I need to know what it was." Margaret sighed, sinking into a plush leather chair. "Son, I think you're torturing yourself. Kate's gone, and whatever it was she didn't say, it's too late now. Do you expect her to speak to you from beyond the grave?" Ethan rubbed his face, feeling the rough stubble that had grown over the past few days. "No, of course not. I feel like I need this right now." Margaret's expression softened. "That poor girl. She was so kind, and yes, maybe you share some blame for what happened, but you can't change the past. You need to live in the present." Ethan nodded slowly. "I know, Mom. I'll go today, and after that, I'll try to pull myself together." After Margaret left, Ethan's mind wandered back to the day he first met Kate. It had been a chance encounter, but from that moment, he was captivated. Kate was unlike anyone he'd ever met, modest, quiet, and gentle in a way that touched Ethan's soul. Some found her odd, but Ethan saw her for who she truly was, a sensitive soul who had been through so much. Her mother had passed away when she was 17, leaving Kate to fend for herself. They had fallen in love quickly, and within months Ethan proposed, certain that Kate was his soulmate. But then came the night that changed everything. His ex-girlfriend, Mia, had called him out of the blue, claiming she needed help. Out of misplaced concern, Ethan went to her only to find himself in a confusing situation that led to a misunderstanding. By the time Kate arrived unexpectedly and saw him, the damage was done. She left that night, heartbroken, and Ethan never saw her again. Months turned into years, and Ethan searched for Kate everywhere, but she had disappeared without a trace. It wasn't until 6 months ago that his world was shattered all over again. A late-night phone call from a hospital informed him that Kate was gravely ill. When Ethan rushed to the hospital, his heart broke seeing Kate, a shadow of her former self, frail and unrecognizable. Despite her condition, her eyes, which once held so much warmth, still had the same gentle look. As Ethan sat by her side, Kate tried to speak, her voice barely a whisper. I need to tell you something." But before she could finish, her strength gave out. She passed away that night, leaving Ethan with unanswered questions and a mountain of regret. Now, months later, Ethan found himself visiting her grave every day, trying to find solace, though it never came. One afternoon, as Ethan made his usual stop at the small liquor store to buy a gift for the cemetery caretaker, he noticed a commotion. A large security guard was yelling at a young girl, no older than 8, who looked terrified. Clutching a small bag of candy, the girl's eyes were wide with fear as the guard accused her of stealing. Ethan's heart ached seeing the child in distress. Without thinking twice, he intervened, offering to pay for the candy. The guard reluctantly accepted the money, and the girl quickly ran off into the crowd, leaving Ethan wondering about her circumstances. When Ethan finally arrived at Kate's grave, he was emotionally drained.
As he approached the headstone, something unusual caught his eye. A small bag of candy, just like the one the girl had been holding earlier. A chill ran down his spine. Was it just a coincidence? Before he could process it, a small voice behind him said, "Did you know my mom?" Ethan turned to see the same little girl standing just beyond the cemetery fence. "Oh, it's you," she said, recognizing him from the store. "Thank you for helping me earlier. I'm sorry I ran off. I just really wanted to bring these to my mom." Ethan's mind was racing. "Your mom?" he asked gently. "Who was your mother?" The girl looked down, her voice soft. Kate Spencer. My name is Lily." Ethan felt the world tilt beneath him. "Lily," he repeated, his heart pounding. "How old are you?" "I'm 9, Lily replied. 9 and 5 months, actually." Ethan could barely breathe. 9 years and 5 months. Could it be? "Lily, what happened to your mom? Where have you been living?" Lily's face fell. "Mom got sick. We lived with an old lady, Mrs. Valentine. But when Mom got too sick to work, we had to leave. I've been hiding out here since." Tears welled in Ethan's eyes as he realized the truth. Lily was his daughter, the secret Kate had been trying to tell him. "Lily," he said softly, "would you like to come home with me? We'll take care of you. My mother and I. We're family." Lily hesitated but eventually nodded. "I guess so. It's getting hard out here." When Ethan brought Lily home, his mother, Margaret, was stunned. But she quickly took Lily under her wing, helping her clean up and making her feel welcome. Over the next few days, Ethan and his mother worked to piece together the puzzle of Kate's life, visiting Mrs. Valentine to learn more about what had happened. The old woman handed over a journal Kate had left behind, filled with memories and confessions that broke Ethan's heart. As Ethan read through the journal, he discovered the depth of Kate's love for both him and their daughter. Kate had struggled to raise Lily alone, and her regret for not telling Ethan sooner was clear in every word. The final entry was a simple, heartbreaking plea: "God, please watch over my little girl." With the truth now known, Ethan vowed to be the father that Lily deserved. He sat her down one day and gently told her the truth. "Lily," he began, "I'm your father. I didn't know about you before, but I'm here now, and I'll never leave you again." Lily, wise beyond her years, simply nodded. "Okay. I guess things get complicated, but I'm glad you're here now." And with that, Ethan knew that while he couldn't change the past, he could make the future better. For Kate, for Lily, and for himself.